Welcome back. We're speaking to Eddie Ranji. He's the CEO of MobileMART Systems. We are talking about green energy solutions, and we've been talking about solar in schools. We've been talking about any scope. And I was asking you before we went on the break, what happens to those people who, are interested in green energy solutions for themselves as as an individual domestic user?
Yeah, actually the domestic is the biggest compared to actually even the other sectors that we have addressed. We have addressed more of corporate sectors. But the domestic market is actually where everything lies down. And in our homes, yes, we also do complain about the bills that we have at homes, because when we are paying 3,500, 5,000 up to 10,000, it's quite a hit to our budget. And we would be glad if we can pay as low even as 1,000 or 500 shillings. But what has solar got for us for the domestic use? Now, there are technologies in solar, and I want to be very grateful today that the technology in the solar world is growing at a very high rate as opposed to before. Before, to install a solar system in a home, and before I actually mean 3 years ago, to install a solar system in a home, it could cost you more than 1 million Kenya shillings. So it would take you like about 10 years to recover that 1 million shillings. Because if you do 1 million shillings divided by the 3,500 that you pay monthly basis, then you would rather pay the 3,500 and use the other 900 and something and do something else for it. But now the technology in solar has grown at a very high rate today, and we are able to get what we call a 300 watts solar system that can cost you as low as 30,000 Kenya shillings. We have a 500 watt solar system that can cost you as low as 50,000 shillings. First, we need to say thank you for that particular technological innovation. Now, we have what I will present here, which is called MPPT. That is a solar generator. To make it easier to understand, the generator that we normally use that uses diesel or furnace oil to run when there is no power. So this solar generator MPP technology does the same thing. It gets heat from the solar panels, which comes from the solar sunshine, and then it stores that heat into the solar generator, and the solar generator multiplies that particular current. So that means with a 3,000 watts, with a 3 kilowatt system, 3,000 watts, you are able to actually power a modern home. You are actually talking with a cost of about 300,000 Kenya shillings, your entire home is powered. And at this point, you can actually be off-grid because the solar generator is already generating. So even at night, it is working very well for you. And I give a ratio. Like I gave earlier when I was talking about $1,000 for 1 kVA. Here we are talking about coming to the same matrix of about 300,000 shillings for a 3,000 watts system. But that's a very modern home, which has big screens, which has big refrigerators, which has more TVs. When I come to a domestic, a basic home down there, mashinani, where really there is no electricity, now this is what we need to push down there. And like there's a diagram which I would want you to show here. Actually, this device here, solar for the home power use, it is the one that communicates with the solar panels, and there is a diagram which I would want to present here.
Yeah.
And we are
Let's see
able.
if we can get it. If we can't get it, you can still tell us.
Yeah, I'll still go ahead with it because that's the latest technology today in terms of solar for homes solutions. And when we are able to power this home with as little as 30,000 shillings, then it means we are getting somewhere in the technology of solar. That's exactly what it means. So if we are able to do 100,000 shillings and power a rural home, in fact, if you divide that 100,000 with a bill, if you're paying 10,000 shillings in a month, simply talks about 10 months. You have your return on capital employed. All right? These are gadgets which have a warranty of 10 to 20 years. That means you have been able to achieve that, and that is what our ultimate goal is. So if you look at the population of 45 million Kenyans, say even 50 million Kenyans, if we divide that by an average of maybe 3 in a home, so we can say we have approximately, let's even say 10,000. If 10,000 of us would adopt all of us to go into solar, we will have really achieved very well in terms of the carbon
That eases the pressure on our grids.
Absolutely. Again, going back, we
reduce
reduce the pressure on our grid, which now happens to go to other places. Because if you want to go solar in an industrial company, it is very expensive. In the first place, manufacturing companies, I want to mix this one together with the domestic so that you will see the value add of most domestic homes going solar. If an industry like EABL today, one plant like the one in Kisumu spends about 10 million shillings in a month for its power use. It needs a lot of power to run the machines. If we are able to save that kind of power a bit in the homes, then it will be very well supplied. Because if we thought of going solar in like a plant like that, or maybe Golden Africa, then the panels, we would need a ground. We are talking about probably 10 acres of land of putting the solar panels, and we're not going to get that. Even the tea manufacturer companies, there's one we tried to...
So they would need to stay on the grid.
We tried to think of how we could do like in Gorongo Tea Factory, to do solar at Gorongo Tea Factory, and we learned that we needed like about 10 acres of land to put the solar panels there.
Oh.
You see? So, but in the domestic, we don't need all that big space. We actually need about 2 solar panels, 2 batteries, the inverter, and the controller, and we are okay. And as many as we are, if you say about 10,000 homes, then we are good to go. We have actually conquered the greatest desire for all of us to go green at the same time at an affordable cost. And this is where even I would also want to the government to come and partner with us who have the systems, who have the technology and the solutions to actually even reach now these solar systems to the rural homes by just delivering this particular MPPT solar generator. And it works magic for homes.
I hear you. Very good stuff. Unfortunately, your time is just about up. But okay, I'm going to ask you, as you say your final thoughts to that person listening to us at home, why should they go green? Speak to them.
We want the climate to go back to what it was back in the days. And we understand the climate has changed because of the industries, and we need the industries, yes. Now, it's upon every mankind to take responsibility in his own accord to see what he can do at a very basic level to go green. Going green, you can go in very many different ways. You can imagine if we fell all our trees today because we are looking for firewood to cook, then what will happen to this country? It's going to become a desert. But there's an alternative to that using the technologies that we have. We save on felling the trees. I want to appreciate the schools today that are basically changing the way of cooking with firewood, and they're using LPG gas, which is a good one. It's not dirty energy, it's clean energy. And also us in the domestic places at our level, let's use the solar energy that is available. Solar is light from God and it shines every day by going green where we can afford. To the schools, I urge you to come on board and work with us so that we can implement the system at no cost to you. And in 2 years or 3 years' time, you will have gotten return on what you have invested in, and we will be very good to the corporate world. Let's manage energy. Let's not waste it. Let's use the artificial intelligence so that we can know what exactly we use and use exactly what we are supposed to use in the energy world. Thank you.
Thank you. Bwana CEO, it's a pleasure having you here and even shedding light on all these things to do with solar energy, to do with any scope, to do with, domestic use of green energy. We appreciate that. We will be looking forward to having more discussions about that. That's Eddie Ranji. He's the CEO of MobileMART Systems. And talking about green energy, that's all we have for this morning. We'll be back next week on Monday, God willing. God bless you. Have a wonderful week.
Ciao.
Weekend, sorry.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.